Turn and face me, sir. My name is Deputy Staples with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. The time is now 2:05 according to my watch. What is your name? Please tell me your address and social security number if you have one. And your social security number, sir. You've been placed under arrest and charged with driving while impaired. I'm going to read Florida's implied consent law to you. Listen carefully to what I am about to say. Florida law requires that you take a chemical test to determine the alcohol content of your breath and a urine test for controlled substances. Should you refuse to submit to either or both of these tests, the driving privilege in the state of Florida will be suspended for a period of 1 year for a first refusal, or for a period of 18 months if your driving privilege has been previously suspended as a result of a refusal to submit to such tests or tests. Additionally, it is a first-degree misdemeanor to refuse to submit to either or both of these tests if your driving privilege has been previously suspended as a result of a prior refusal. Your right to remain silent has nothing to do with taking the approved chemical tests for the purpose of determining the alcohol and or drug content of your breath. Also, your right to have a lawyer present before you make any statement and during any questioning has nothing to do with taking the approved chemical tests for the purpose of determining the alcohol and or drug content of your breath. Your right not to answer any questions has nothing to do with such approved chemical tests. Do you understand what I'm going to do? When you take these tests?